My name is Godwin Sosi. I'm a management liability underwriter at Sompo International, and I'm also a co-founder at the African Caribbean Insurance Network. At Sompo International, I work very closely with a lot of the underwriting team, with insuring directors and officers for global companies across the world, some including, the real estate sector, high net worth individuals, oil and gas companies, to name a few. On the ACIN side of things, we work with some of our corporate sponsors and partners to help diversify the industry and make it a more attractive place for ethnic minorities that look just like myself trying to get into the sector. The African Caribbean Insurance Network is, we want it to be a part of the market. We want to make the industry a destination that people actually wanted to come into and not just I fell into it. We look across, currently the landscape and, the figures that kind of have been stated over the last couple of years around, 7% of the UK insurance workforce coming from a Black and Asian minority ethnic background. If we look at that in comparison to how multicultural London really is, it's simply not good enough. We're trying to change that landscape, we're trying to change that dynamic, we're trying to make insurance sexy, trying to make it diverse and trying to make it fun for the next generation looking to come in. And the ACIN, I believe, plays a vital and pivotal role in doing that. A lot of the work that the African Caribbean Insurance Network has been doing over the last 2 years since we've been established has been around graduate recruitment, networking and events, and also research and study. The main reason why we chose these 3 topics is because it helps to kind of get people in, and once they're in, help to retain them, and then eventually hopefully develop them along the way in their career paths. I personally don't believe that people in the industry are racist. To be brutally honest with you, I think it's just simply a lack of education, and there's been a topic that hasn't been discussed for so long. And when we've been able to create that safe space as a network for people to be able to come to us and speak to us about these kind of topics, we've realized that people have been a lot more open to change. Lloyd has been a pivotal part of the African Caribbean Insurance Network's journey. When I think back to 2019, when we actually initially launched on the 7th of March at the old library downstairs, who better than John Neal to open up the event for us? Since then, Lloyd's have been a champion in everything that we've been doing. They've helped us with our careers fairs at our relative universities, where we saw ourselves attend over 40 different universities. They've got us involved in dive-in panels. I've even been fortunate to conduct a video like this with Lloyd's. And not just that, just a kind of reverse mentoring that we've got from colleagues at Lloyd's that actually work in the market and how they're really trying to champion and change the landscape. And they've come to the African Caribbean Insurance Network for some real tangible solutions. We actually released our first research and study paper, which came out off the back of the Black Lives Matter movement, which occurred last year. And Lloyd's were a pivotal part of that research paper. They asked us, what can we do? How can we use our position and our stance in the market to relay the message? So that paper was actually tabled at the LMG board meetings, and it was circulated to relevant CEOs, which played a pivotal part in kind of championing diversity moving forward. And I think, Lloyd's is an important partner of ours, and we look forward to continuing a relationship with them moving forward and to the wider market as well. Our call to action for our allies and our other companies is that this isn't a us versus you. This isn't a single battle. It's everybody coming on board for the greater good to create the equality which is much needed within the industry. We look at the Black Lives Matter movement which happened over the last year. I personally believe the reason why this has been a movement which has come to stay is because we've had allies who have been very much involved in what's gone on. They've looked at the situation at hand and said, this is simply wrong. What can we do now to kind of get involved and help champion and change this? How can we educate ourselves a lot more? And when we work together, I believe we achieve more. So for a lot of our allies listening, a great part of my career personally is actually having an ally as my mentor, somebody who looked nothing like me or hasn't come from a background like myself, but we've been able to reverse mentor each other. And that's the beauty of allyship, is a sense of reverse mentoring. I educate you on my experiences and you educate me on your experiences, because diversity isn't limited just to color and gender. There's also diversity of thought and diversity of mind. And I believe allyship helps to tick that box in the diversity sector as well as the other 2. I think it's phenomenal. I haven't really been one for quotas. I believe, quotas does, sometimes deny meritocracy. But I do believe that that call to action is showing Lloyd's stance of where they currently are in their D&I journey, and simply saying where we are is not good enough. You know, with the help of, what they're doing with the African Caribbean Insurance Network, I believe those targets could be met. It's just a matter of everybody educating themselves to the reason why we need to diversify our workforce, and not just making it a tick box exercise, just creating equal opportunities for all. There's a saying that says, diversity isn't about lowering the bar, but about opening up the gates. And I believe what's been announced is going to help open up the gates to make the industry a more equally diverse sector for all. I think, Black History Month tends to be limited to just a month, but I believe it's more than a month. Lloyd's involvement in Black history has been very, very promising. I mean, sometimes we do tend to look at the negative side of things, but I don't think we should be. I think we should be looking forward and how we can kind of change things as we move forward. If we look at some of the prominent figures in the Black culture that Lloyd's have ensured, to name a few, Usain Bolt, Pele, these are all idols that a lot of Black young kids are looking up to, and Lloyd's has been involved in that. When we're bringing these kids into the industry, I believe we can educate them on these kind of things and show them the amount of how far our reach really is. And I believe that's what's going to kind of change the narrative moving forward. And I think, it's not just a tick box exercise anymore. I believe we actually really are trying to make tangible change. And, Rome wasn't built in a day. I know we've got a long way to go, but we are moving forward and we are moving in the right direction.